Namah Shri Shankarana Guru Padam Vajanmani Savilas Mahamoha Grahya Grasaik Karman. It's good to chant and recite and sing like a singer, but that is not going to help us. We have to go for the meaning and reflection on it. If we do not reflect, you become a good singer, like Beyonce, and in India we have great singers. But we don't become a seeker. So we have to look at it, what it means. Salutation. Master is pointing, setting an example. The master of this text is saying Namaste, saluting his master, even at the stage of enlightenment. We have shyness, we have big ego. Why should I do it? And then he says, to the lotus feet of the Guru, it hits our ego when we hear this, but at the same time, it is symbolic. To the lotus feet of the Guru. Guru is not physical, it is subtle, and the subtle means that I, I have to move from ignorance to wisdom. Why I have to move from ignorance to wisdom? I heard, I read, I intellectually understand that I am of the nature of permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. I don't experience, hence I am in ignorance. I have to move from ignorance to wisdom. The great delusion with all its manifestation, meaning whose sole function is to devour the monster. So we have to recognize this monster of delusion and ignorance, or in a modern language, we can say superimposition. Superimposition. And once we remove this superimposition, we find we are of the nature of Sat Chitanand, absolute existence, consciousness, and bliss. So the more and more we contemplate how our mind changes its perception, you are listening the teacher, but your mind recognizes that the Guru is within you. Guru is not outside. Whether it's a physical teacher or an inner principle, the very knowledge that is already present in us is the Guru. So what is the physical? Physical Guru is just a bridge between inner and the outer. He points out, you become aware. Oh, here is the David. Here is, so pointing out. Here is Dennis. That is the humility is the superpower. We normally feel ego is the superpower. Humility is the superpower. That is what the practice of Mangalacharana. Delusion is the enemy. Delusion is not pleasure or pain. Because of the delusion, we experience situational happiness and situational unhappiness. So delusion is the enemy, the greatest of all the delusion. We have to remove it. How? By surrender. So that also symbolically, physically means to the lotus feet of the teacher. But symbolically, surrender means the recognition beyond delusion that we are of the nature of peace and happiness. And we want to recognize first surrender. We want to realize from the seeker we have reached to the final stage. Open your eyes. So the Mangala Charan points out the unmanifest. It points out the unmanifest. I told you that Saturday's session is all about understanding. But if the mind is already deluded, how can we understand? Then our understanding is also deluded. Son, mom was in the kitchen and son, bring the butter from the refrigerator. The son opened the refrigerator, he saw the yogurt and he brought it and gave it to the mom. Mom said, I told you to bring the butter. The son was lazy and also smart. So he said, oh, here is butter. The mom saw it is a yogurt. Where is it? There is no butter. The son said, it is unmanifest in the yogurt. What is unmanifest? We normally take it, it is absent. That is the problem. That is the superimposition. Don't do that at home. It is just a metaphor to help us understand. It explains the unmanifest versus non-existent. Are you understanding? This is the message. We normally feel, what I don't see doesn't exist. So the solid appears to exist, but it is not. It is my wrong perception. Husband exists, wife exists. No. There is something unmanifest. That is what the master is pointing out, and we can become aware of that unmanifest. So this master, after the superimposition, he is talking about the causal creation, cause. Why? Because if I understand the cause, so my experience is at the causal level. Otherwise, no, I'm husband and I'm wife and here is my house. No, we have to look into the unmanifest. So even mostly the causal level remains unmanifest. But I can have a perception of that. I can experience that. I can experience that. I cannot say that, I should not say it is non-existent. Then only I can get rid of the delusion. That is what the causal. So if we understand the causal creation, so today we will talk in detail and understand the causal creation. I see you. Very good. I see you. So what is the instrument that sees you? My eyes. My eyes cannot hear you. For that I have ears. So it means eyes is also an instrument of knowledge. Ears are also the instrument of the knowledge. Both have a limited perception. I want to see the real self, which is all pervading and eternal. So limited instruments cannot perceive what is unlimited. what is infinite, what is Satchidanand, what is all pervading eternal. We start understanding. Are you clear? Yes. Now, if there is no light, no medium, I cannot see you. So that light is known as the fire elements out of the five elements. So if the medium is not there, I cannot see you. Now, if the mind is clouded with impurities, it is tamoguna. The moment I see you, I say, oh, he is crazy and I don't want to talk. You look at it. Eyes, gunas, elements, all are functional. And I claim I see you. No, how I see you? Look at the causal level. Also, the guna also. Yes. And if the rajoguna is activated, so I'm excited to see you. But if satoguna is active, I just see you as it is. Satoguna helps me to have a right perception. Oh, there are many waves in the ocean, and I say, hold on, keep on watching the waves, see from where the waves rises from the surface. What is on the surface? It is the water. So all water are waves. Are you clear? Yes, all water are waves. So my attention changes from the waves to water. It can only happen in Sato Guna, in the presence of the light, which is a fire element. I explained you only the entire process of perception. Science also explains the process of perception. Inverted image falls on the retina, and then you have, okay, very good, inverted image. Do you see the inverted image? Yes. And but who causes this inverted image? Who makes me aware? The mind. And who makes aware of the mind? The consciousness. So what is the ultimate reality? Is the consciousness. So we use one metaphor of waves in the water. Metaphor does not clearly represent what the principle is, but it can point out. So we pointed out this. That is what. So let us go a little deeper into this ocean metaphor. The entire ocean represents Satchidanand, all one consciousness, existence and bliss, the unchanging consciousness. The wind stirring the surface is known as Prakriti, the creative energy, the three gunas. A great wave, a very great wave, is called Ishvara, the cosmic Lord. An individual ripple is the I am and you are, a single living being. First thing to understand, what is the real? Only the ocean. The rest are manifest, they unmanifest. Now use the same metaphor in everyday life. House manifest, unmanifest, body manifest, unmanifest, my son manifest, and I manifest as a body and mind, unmanifest. So the entire world. So there is one intelligence who is the controller, and I am an individual limited being in this world. And behind that, there is a consciousness that we have to recognize and realize. The moment you start perceiving, the way we start perceiving the ocean, if we start perceiving that water or consciousness, we have dropped the superimposition. We have dropped the superimposition. This is what we are talking today. The causal creation, subtle, behind the before the subtle, there is a physical. So we are explaining the great wave, the small wave, and in terms of Maya, the delusion, and individual ignorance. That needs to be clearly understood. Why? Because we want to remove the superimposition. I enter into the perception that this is not solid wall, this is misperception. Hence, this is all about energy. But can I see the energy? No, but can I have perception of that? Yes. Same way, I can experience the pure consciousness. Think of the Maya, the delusion, superimposition, as a powerful fog machine that covers the entire ocean, making it difficult to see its vastness. Consciousness is there, superimposition, so I feel I'm limited. So there is a fog machine of play of the Satoguna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. And individual ignorance is like a small cloud of fog that personally surrounds just one ripple, making it forget its true nature as a water. Why? Who does it? Three gunas. We will make it little more easy. Let us pay attention. Recognize first the role of the gunas. What is the role of the gunas? Are the building blocks of our mind in the body. Body is also made up of three gunas. Mind is also made up of three gunas, but the mind is subtle, body is physical. They both interact. They create a building block of our mind and body. Think in this way. Okay. So now if there is a inertia in destruction, it is tamoguna. I feel unmotivated. I feel depressed. I feel stagnant. If activity and desire is there, I experience passion and sense of hyperactivity. And I experience the truth and the knowledge in a deep meditative state. I feel there is a harmony and clarity is there. So three gunas. Can I dismantle these three gunas? Individual ignorance? Yes, we can remove that ignorance. It is our daily experience. I don't know you, who you are. They are in the mode of the Satoguna. You want to know. No, I'm David. Yes, I got it. I removed the individual ignorance. Now ask the same question to yourself. Who am I? I'm the body? No. I'm the mind? No. I'm the intellect? No. I'm the husband and a wife? No. I'm male? No. What cannot be denied is me. And there is only one thing, that is consciousness. I'm mixing, I know I'm mixing in order to make the things clear. See another metaphor. You have to be very clear. In the last session, people said it's too much. Why it is too much? Because my mind is constantly guided by the superimposition. Mind prevents me to digest this understanding. Let me make it king. Take a metaphor of the king and the guards. The guard is on the north gate of the kingdom. Another guard is on the south gate of the kingdom. The guards mean sense organs, can only see, hear, feel what is right in front of them, only within their specific range. A guard at the north gate can't report on what's happening at the south gate. Sense organ. They are specialized but limited. This is the very nature of our sense organs. They are limited. What about the king? The king is consciousness, is one for whom all the reports are made. He is aware of all the guards, all the ministers, the entire castle going on simultaneously without any effort. That consciousness inside. That consciousness reflects into the mind, the reflected consciousness. Now, this reflected consciousness reflects through the each and every sense organ. I cannot see it, I have to understand it. I told you, what is unmanifest has to be understood. So whatever my eyes and the mind perceive is a fraction of the reality. It is not the total reality. And when I see the fraction of reality, I'm limited. Superimposition is there, delusion is there, and a great delusion hides me. It causes the suffering in my daily life. Limited perception is the basis of our delusion. You are crazy. It means I have a limited perception. I blame you. I have a limited perception. So I become aware, no, why I want to live in limited perception. It has nothing to do with morality and ethics. Then I should not criticize you. I should not blame you. No, my mind should, you should not be limited. That limited perception causes the problem. It causes you ignorance and suffering. Critical appreciation is there, critical review is there. We use the discerning intellect. But limited perception is the basis of our delusion. Right? Because our senses gives us incomplete and fragmented data. Our mind and intellect build a picture of a separate world. We think, for example, we think I see a tree, but I don't see the sun. Without sun, how can you see the tree? Do you see the superimposition? I see the tree. I see you. Without the light, how can I see you? They are two separate things. In reality, they are both expressions of the same ultimate reality. I gave you examples many a times. What do you see in my left hand? What do you see? I see nothing. No, you still see the light. Light was present when my left hand was present. Left hand is absent and still the light is present. I have to educate the mind to be subjective. This is known as the subjective. Once you understand the principle, let us pick up a couple of examples with the sight, vision. Our eyes can only see a small part of electromagnetic spectrum. Let us talk of the little bit of science. And I can't see the radio waves, I can't see the X-rays, and even the air around me. The world I see is a tiny sliver of a much vaster reality. I cannot see the X-rays, etc. Now, why I explained it? You have to be logical. Delusion. We believe that what we see is the whole picture. That is the problem. You are my husband, and husband should never become angry. Why? Because I'm your wife. So you have a right to be angry. Yes, I have a right. Why? Because I love you. You see the layers of delusion? It does not mean the horseman should also become crazy, all the time become crazy. I'm just giving an example. See the delusion. We believe that we see the whole picture, we see a solid object and forgets it is mostly an empty space. What is an empty space? Held together by energy. The way you all shared last week. The delusion is thinking the separate objects we see are truly separate. It is because of only my eye's perception. You cannot see the reality even after cataract surgery. You have to use the knowledge. The delusion is thinking the separate objects we see are truly separate. No, it is not separate. Why? Consciousness is the light that illuminates all forms, whether visible or invisible. You know, those 5, 6 verses, I'm just explaining in a different ways. 5, 6 verses are little complex, talking about the causal creation. So before I take up those verses directly, I'm just explaining in a simple way. It is the awareness that allows for perception of light. When we use the word light in Eastern wisdom, we are not talking of this light. We are talking of consciousness. We are talking of awareness. So many people practice meditation and they see that I see the blue light. And that is causing more delusion. That is causing more problem. Anyhow, leave that point. Consciousness is fundamental. Let us pick up the sound. One example of the sound. Our ears can hear only a very specific range of frequency. We can't hear the high-pitched sound of a bat. Bat is it. And the low-frequency vibration of an earthquake. We can't hear it. I cannot hear with my ears. So what is the delusion? We believe that silence we perceive is a lack of sound. Are you getting it? Not very difficult, but if you contemplate and reflect, then you understand. In fact, it is a lack of sound within our limited range. It has particular capacity. So within that range, I don't hear any sound, so I say there is no sound. We miss the rich symphony of the entire universe happening all around us. What is the reality? Consciousness is the ear of ears. It is the very principle of hearing, because consciousness is knowledge, consciousness is awareness. In the absence of awareness, there is no sound. Ears makes it limited, and that consciousness knows all. The subtlest of all sound that we reveal is what we say, Om. That is why Om has a significance. Let us make it, think of the touch. My sense of touch is confined to the surface of my body. Can you feel inside the wall, inside the skin or core of the earth? Our perception of the self is largely confined to the boundaries of my skin. Where I am here. Only I am this. So it is the skin sense organ is limiting me. I'm not limited. Harry, we are not limited. We believe our body is a separate, solid entity, and that I am confined within it. We feel the cold of an ice cube and think I am cold. not realizing that feeling is a temporary sensation happening in the consciousness. That waves is happening in an ocean, and I feel I'm that movement of the wave. That is what the touch sensation is. It is limited. Delusion is mistaking the limited physical boundary or my true self. The reality is, what is the reality? What is consciousness? Consciousness is the touch of the touch. I'm bringing the example from the Upanishad. One Upanishad says it is the consciousness is the touch of the touch. Consciousness is the ear of all the ears. Consciousness is the sight of all the sights. It is behind. It is causal. It cannot, you cannot see it through your eyes, but you can experience it. You can understand. Same thing with the taste. Take an example. Our senses of taste and the smell are highly specialized. Do you remember? Gary perhaps remember. They are because of the chemical detectors or chemical receptors. You can detectors, receptors, same thing. They can only perceive a limited range of molecules and are often a matter of interpretation and association. We believe that a delicious food is delicious and a bad smell is bad. We mistake the subjective sensation for an objective reality. That is the biggest problem. We think the pleasure or displeasure is inherent in the object itself. No, it is not there. It is my interpretation. What is the consciousness in the real self? It is the taste of the taste. Without that consciousness, without that awareness, I cannot even experience the limited sensation of the taste. You remember the three metaphors I used? The senses are the guards of the kingdom. The mind is the chief minister, making it more understandable. Senses are the guards of the kingdom. With that metaphor, the mind is the chief minister or the governor of a state. The intellect is the royal advisor. And if the intellect is dictated by the mind, you are gone. If the intellect, the knowledge dictates, and the king is the ultimate reality. Your senses are the guards, colorful in shape in the distance in case of eyes. Your mind processes this data based on memory, recognizes it as a person. Your intellect identifies it as your friend based on the specific color and the form and the age. What is reality? You are the consciousness that is aware of seeing. Are you understanding? It is subtle. I am consciousness that is aware of seeing. Take another example. Your skin feels cold, hard surface. I gave that example. Your mind associates this feeling with the table based on the shape and the texture. For example, your intellect understands that table is made up of wood and tells you to place your cup on it. You are the one experiencing the sensation of the cold, the hard table, sensation of the touch. I am not limited to that sensation. What about the sound? You are listening to me, you pick up the vibrations in the ear. Okay? Your mind assembles these vibrations into a specific sign, specific sound, language, words, like a melody. What the intellect does, my intellect recognizes the melody or my speech as your as the tools of understanding. Still, you are the one who is aware of hearing the music and feeling it evokes. You are none of this body, mind, and the sensation of sound. That is the ultimate reality. Let us make a little analysis. Sensory perception, whatever I experience through the senses, is limited. Is limited. I am lazy, I am sleepy, I am not listening, I am not understanding. Sensory perception is limited and specific, like the guards in the kingdom. So it means all my experiences are limited, yes. So based on that limitation, I make a decision, yes. So based on decision, then I feel the stress and suffering, answer is yes. So the reality is behind that, yes. Take an example of the waves to an ocean. It can only report on what is right in front of it and within its specific function. But before that, I just, it was a great moment for me when I spent a couple of months with this great master, another master, UG Krishnamurti. You can Google out and you can download his conversation. The book name is Mind is Myth, UG Krishnamurti. Also, I spent a couple of months with him, and my nature is to ask the questions. It is not that I accepted you as a teacher because if you can answer me, I'm more humble towards you because you are removing all my doubts. So I don't know what happened to me one day. I said, there is a fan. It was very hot in Delhi. And I said that the fan is moving. So I see the fan moving through my eyes and I hear the sound of the fan through my ears. And the mind is processing it. Usually, how do you perceive this entire process? So he had a smile on his face. He said that my mind now processes the sound and perception separately. Did you understand that one? Why separately? It is already separate. Because of the delusion, I find it is one. What do you mean, Yuji? In those days, I was hardly 35, 36 in those days. I could not. I said, how can you do it? Yuji said, it is so natural. Eastern wisdom takes you to a natural state of awareness. He's very calm and focused. And the fact is, what he told it is a fact. Consciousness, using the instrument mind, further limited to one sense organ, independent perception of the sight, independent perception of the sound. They both are actually separate. But I go together. The moment, where is the sound coming? And then I look at the fan is causing the sound. Can you see the sound through your eyes? No. So then we We were in a car and driving through the market, and we have many dessert or the sweet shops there in India. Every 1 kilometer, you have many sweets. I said, Yuji, how do you see that sweet shop? He said, the sweet is different, separate from the shop. Can I have that level of awareness? Can I live into that awareness? Delusion is gone. Can you live into that state? I did not tell this young guy who got attached to cute and beautiful girl. Cute and beautiful, one part, and girl is the second. Your sensuality is gone. Thank you, Ashok. Now you are listening to me. Sensory perception. Your eyes see a chair, they can't see the air around it, the molecules making it up, or the infrared light it emits. It is very limited, specific view. Even your chair emits that. What the science has said. Where is the goal? Consciousness. You as a consciousness, as one who is aware of seeing the chair. How does the delusion of the sight work? Last point I'm taking in a different way. The delusion of sight comes from believing that what we see with our eyes is the entire objective reality. Moment my eyes perceive you back by the mind, I see this is what the objective reality. As if the waves in the fog covering the ocean, this is what the objective reality is. Our eyes only perceive a tiny fraction of electromagnetic spectrum. I'm adding the science. We see the solid objects, believe them to be truly separate from us and from each other, forgetting that they are all made up of the same fundamental energy. This body, that body, made up of the same fundamental. What happens? You are crazy. Oh, so this body is crazy. So if that body is crazy, this body is also crazy. Because I have the same, based on the perception. No, no, I'm not crazy. I can prove that you are crazy. Rajoguna. Do you see the delusion, Rajoguna? I'm done with you. Enough is enough. Tamoguna. You see what is happening. What is happening? Your perception is dictated now by the ignorance and delusion. You look at a tree in a cloud. Your eyes perceive them as distinct, separate entities in the space. They are not separate. Where is the delusion? You believe the tree and the cloud are fundamentally different things with no connection. Problem is here. Both the tree and the cloud are expressions of the same underlying reality. They are made up of the same atom and energy, and consciousness is the common thread that makes the perception of both possible. Consciousness is the common thread that makes the perception of both possible. Through my eyes, it is limited first, and then it has different colors in the shape. It is also required for living in the world, but simultaneously inside, it is only one. It is one. It is one. Causal cannot be seen by the sense organs in the mind. But by cause and effect relationship, we can understand that. And beyond the cause and effect relationship, there is only one consciousness, that is the real self. And the real self is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. Ashok, you are listening? Yes. Say yes, yes. Yes. So let us discuss what you can share so that I can understand what should be our next topic, the way you have understand. Let us first, Dennis should come up.
We believe that our experience gives us full picture, but it is not. And that is because of limited perception of sense organs. And that limited perception is the base of our delusion. And when we think and contemplate, we can infer missing pieces and see bigger picture. And the bigger picture is that everything is interconnected. Every object depends on all other objects in the universe. And all objects in the universe depend on one single and every object. And there is also not a single object in the universe that can exist independently. And there is not a single object that doesn't change. But we perceive forms that seem stable and unchanging. And that stability is again only due to limited perception. And then we give names to these forms in attempt to separate what is in fact inseparable. And that's the reason we say that name and the form is a delusion, not because they are non-existent, but because they are perceived improperly, incompletely, again due to limited perception. So faith in limited perception creates delusion, and only discernment can help us separate what? Separate limited perception from the knowledge. And using that discernment, we can destroy the delusion.
Beautifully said. Remember the one thing. You are studying any discipline of in meditation, whether it is Buddhism, Tantra, Kundalini, or anything. Knowledge has to be there. If you do not understand, if you do not follow the process of discernment and dispassion, nothing is going to happen. You'll be caught in one or the other form of delusion in your journey of the self-discovery and awakening. That is why this master is not talking of any religion, mantra, nothing. He says direct approach directly that reality. Why? Because you are that reality. That is the first thing. Can you recall the three states of the mind? Waking, dream, and sleep. Beyond that, there is a presence. That presence is the real self. We also understood that we are of the nature of happiness. And then he raises he says, this is the model. You simply follow this model with a clarity, contemplate daily, and one day what happens? One day you wake up from the sleep, you look at your honey, and you say, my goodness, it is oneness. There is only oneness. There is no husband and a wife. There is no daughter and the son. Nothing. There is no wall in me. You have a clarity of that perception. This is what this master is talking about. And my master used to refer these verses from another text. He used to teach us for hours together, 3 hours and 4 hours. Yes, David and Jerry, you want to say something?
Thank you. I found this lesson absolutely fascinating. It just gives us the understanding of the limitedness of not only our own body, mind, but society and things like that. And if you look back in history at the people that didn't stop with the limits, you know, the Christopher Columbuses, the Henry Fords, the Elon Musks. I mean, who would have thought, you know, 100 years ago we'd be flying people up, you know, to a space station up? And that's because people need to access and nurture that unlimited consciousness that's behind everything out there.
Yes, beautifully said. Limited. So the moment I think, speak, and act in the world outside, my mind is aware that there is some one reality which is present. So if I live into that, how come? Unless I become a seeker. So seeker is searching the knowledge. Seeker is not guided by the Raju and Tamo Guna. That will not work. That is what he is saying. Yes, beautifully said. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. Kind of back to what I said on Thursday is that I'm the creator of the cause and the receiver of the effect, and believing that. So I have faith in that I'm consciousness when I'm saying that. So consciousness is the creator of all causes and all effects. And then that way, everything that we see here, we know that that's limited, but it's not if the belief is that it's attached to consciousness. So, and then we actually can see clearly and have right perspective. And then we will take right action. We don't have to worry about action or our words or our thoughts because it's connected to consciousness, which always directs us right, correct.
Yes, beautifully. 2 points. I'm just invoking the 2 principles. What are those 2 principles? You know, it came to my mind and it left me. One is that the real self, anything that is real, is independent of anything outside. It is independent of all the objects of name and forms, all the perceptions. They are limited and perceived. And what is false? False depends on the real. It's a beautiful, you have to contemplate and reflect this week, and it will give you a new insight. What that means? So I inquire, I claim that this body is real, but the body depends on the consciousness. So it means the body has to undergo a change. That is how we separate through the intellect, through the knowledge and understanding, what is false and what is real. What is false and real. Second point is quite interesting. It is something different than the science, and it will make a sense. Cause and effect relationship. So you go on searching the cause and effect. You have found the effect, then you find the cause. Now this cause becomes the effect of this secondary cause. That is how we explain the physical, subtle, and the causal. And you go on searching. When you find the ultimate cause, now that cause cannot become the effect. That is the real thing. In science, they don't do it. Why they don't do it? They are not concerned about the subjective reality. Why they are not concerned about the subjective reality? They say mind is the subjective reality. So there is a dilemma and confusion. So the modern scientists, physicists, they always use the word there is a hard problem of consciousness, which is solved here by this master who lived almost 1500 years ago, when there was no science. There is no hard problem of consciousness. Consciousness does not have a problem. It is the reality. You are taking the mind as a subjective reality, and that is causing the problem. The mind has a limited perception. They say, yes, the seat of consciousness is in the front. No, it is at the back. No, it is in the, what we say, hypothalamus. They are not fully clear. I can say, and I must say, how are you, Brandy? What you're thinking? Couple of sessions may look dry, but after that it becomes very easy.
Thank you. I was thinking of, about how when I first started coming to these sessions that you explained that consciousness can only recognize itself. And I didn't quite understand that. And these last couple of lessons about the limitations of the senses have pretty much made it that simple. And I liked the metaphor of the king and the cards today. That was useful. And then also like just personal application. When I woke up, when I very first woke up this morning, my mind was racing trying to solve a problem from my dream. And I immediately recognized, like, why are you trying to solve? It's a dream. Like, let that go. And then my next thought was like, oh, wow, I'm really tired this morning. I'm like, that's Thomas, get out of bed, you know, like come on. And it was as simple as just applying, like, first thing, don't get all caught up in all of this. So I think it's working.
Beautifully said. Yes, it works. It works. Oh, let me solve the problem that I saw in the dream. If you start solving the problem of the dream, you are crazy. Simply, it proves that you are crazy. Why you want to solve the problem of the dream? Dream does not exist now. But to live into that awareness is great quality, is great. It may be a fancy dream. It may be that you met Elon Musk and he offered you $50 billion. It is still a dream. Or the lion chased you and hurt you. You are bleeding. That still is the dream. We need a lion's heart to live into that awareness. Otherwise, we will fall back into ignorance. That is one. Another metaphor that I used to give, which you can now apply, I see all the objects of the world in the presence of the sunlight, right? I recognize. Because of the light, I recognize that you are Brandy, you are David, you are Ashok, you are etc. And you are, well, we are having a virtual session, computer, wall, etc. But how the sun recognizes itself. For to recognize you, I need a light, sunlight. What kind of a light sun requires to see, to recognize that it is the sun? It is the sunlight. Or should I bring a candlelight? Oh, now I see the sun. So in the presence of the sunlight, I recognize there is a sun. In the presence of the real self recognizes the real self by itself. So the word that is used, roughly translated into English as self-luminous, self-effulgent. Can you show me anything that is self-effulgent and self-luminous? Only the real self. Only the consciousness. Only the consciousness is the mind. Can the mind be self-luminous? If it is self-luminous, then you can never sleep. It is self-luminous. Do you see? Sense organ. No. Are you understanding? Are you understanding? Randy, are you understanding? It is self-luminous. So we use the word self-luminous, self-effulgent. We don't need a candlelight to see the sun because the sun can be seen by its own light. The consciousness can be seen, recognized, realized, experienced in its own consciousness, in its own light. That is the real self. Independent, ultimate cause of anything and everything. Carry what happened, your consciousness.
Um, I don't know. I'm thinking about the subjective senses are based on the form. So a different and they perceive the world, what we think is the world. But a different if there are like you said, I forget what you said. Well, levels that we don't see, but those are real. There could be a creature with different senses, like a bee, for example. Let's see, has a. So I'm trying to figure out what this has to do with. I don't know what's the point of it. I'm not sure.
Simple, our goal is who am I? If I am the body, and body is the effect of a cause that is the subtle body, I'm just trying to find out who am I. So I see, oh, it's a subtle, because without this subtle body, this physical body cannot exist. So when I say that I'm the physical body with the name and the form is falsified, then I go to the subtle. I find the subtle is an effect and it is the causal body. That is what I want to find out. Now I want to know what is the or cause of this subtle. And then what I discussed today is the causal creation. So in that causal creation, I don't see the three gunas, but I see the effect of the three gunas that gives rise to the subtle body and the physical body. I see the play of the five subtle elements, and then I find that it is the mind is made up of that, and then the sense organs are made up of that. It has a limited perception. So if anything that is limited cannot find me, who am I? So I find goal is the one thing. What is the goal? I want to know who am I. Where I have to reach? I have to reach, I am of the nature of pure consciousness, of permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. That is our goal. So in that process, we have reached to a causal body. And in that causal body with reference to individual and causal body with reference to the entire world. So we have a principle intact with us. What is that principle? Simple principle. Whatever is changing is not me. Name and the form is changing, not me. And name and form is a misperception. I mistake this as a real. That is our goal. In our next lesson, we will see how these 5 elements, 3 gunas, our 5 sense organ, our 5 motor organs, they combine and they give rise to a delusion of the world. So if we go beyond that, we are already the real self. That is all for today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.